Just a day after the CBI exposed the Haryana cop's villainy, there's really no other word for it, in the gut-wrenching Pradyuman case, Times Now, this channel has accessed the Haryana government's compliance report in the probe into accused rapist Baba, so-called spiritual guru Ram Rahim's crimes. Shockingly, the state government has admitted that truckloads of incriminating evidence might have been moved out of the Dera Sacha Sauda in the days immediately after his conviction. Times Now has accessed the Haryana government's report. Despite the imposition of Section 144, people were allowed to enter in huge numbers. Not just the state, but also the adjoining areas of the Dera Sacha Sauda headquarters, where they created havoc and ruckus. Now, violation number 2, which is very clear as the sky from these particular tapes, despite strict court orders, Deras across the states were not sanitized. These two are the first two we'll be talking about. We'll come to the other big takeaways in just a bit, but clearly these two are very apparent, very obvious from those tapes that we just showed you right now. One, that enough effort was not being taken by the security establishment in the state that at the time claimed that they had the situation under control, but clearly our sting shows it did not. All the Deras were not sanitized. That is very clear from the confession almost of what we've heard on the sting tapes right now. And that is as clear as day. What we also understand that Dera supporters were allowed to enter the state in huge numbers. Remember, there was a security risk at the point. The state was close to chaos. There were almost riots in and around the Dera Sacha Sauda, and the state was entirely tense. That time, the police had claimed that they had the situation under control, and they were in fact monitoring and tracking every person who was either connected with the Dera or perhaps perceived as a security risk at that particular point in time. There were more violations. Remember, more violations. Truckloads of items were moved out from secret passageways. Evidence was destroyed. We also understand, despite being in power, the Haryana government, headed by Mr. Manohar Lal Khattar, chose to ignore all these rioters. More violations, of course. Khattar government did not order a probe immediately. Rather asked for appointment of the court commissioner for investigation. The court commissioner, remember, was appointed only after 10 days. By then, all evidence had been moved out. The Dera family had escaped to Rajasthan. The Haryana government did not give any correct figures to the court when asked about money laundering activities of the Dera. Now, the Times Now investigation proves the following. Number one, that in Haryana, under the Khattar regime, the powerful Dera chief, who is an accused right now, remember, of rape and many other charges, including money laundering, they're getting away. While poor and helpless people, like the poor bus conductor Ashok on the right side of your screens right now, seen here when he was forced to give a confession which we now know was forced out of him, was perhaps beaten out of him, we don't know, we can only speculate. They are fixed and framed. Why this discrimination? Is it only because the Dera Sacha Sauda chief has vote bank in his pocket?